Good evening, everybody, and it's lovely to see you all. Thank you all for coming out this evening. And welcome to the Policy and Resources Committee meeting of Oakhampton Town Council on Monday the 8th of June. A bit of housekeeping just to start things off. So be aware that this meeting will be live streamed through the Council's Facebook page. Anybody attending will be captured on film, except when seated in the public seating area, with the exclusion of the first row. Marilyn? But also please do be aware that any speech may be picked up and broadcast. We have the microphones, which ensures it is, but if there's any speech within, it may be as well. A fire alarm drill is not planned. In the event that the alarm sounds, please make your way out of the building using either staircase to the meeting point in Red Lion Yard and await further instructions. Councillors are reminded that to avoid the risk of being seen as predetermined or biased, they should consider all debate prior to deciding on how to vote on items of business. Urgent items, for information only, can be brought to the attention of the committee at my discretion at the end of the meeting, and no decision can be taken on items not detailed on the published agenda. Finally, please ensure mobile phones are turned off and to silent. Thank you. So before I actually start on the agenda, I think it might be helpful if we introduce ourselves to you. My name is Councillor Julie Emmond, and I'm the Chairman of the Policy and Resources Committee. If you'd like to...
My name is Councillor Mark Richards.
And I'm Councillor Road. I'm the Vice Chair of MPR.
I'm Emma, I'm the Town Clerk.
I'm Richard Coleman, I'm the Mayor. Thank you all for coming.
Okay, so thank you very much. And before we kind of get into what we're actually going to be doing, I just have some notes here that are sort of the Chairman's direction, just to help members in decision making, bearing in mind we've had a change in membership due to the annual meeting next Tuesday back in May. So members, just to remind you all that prior to the grants coming before the committee, they are checked against the Oakhampton Town Council's application policy to ensure they meet the basic qualifying criteria. No opinion is formed or expressed at that time as to the level of grant that may or may not be awarded. The role of the members of Policy and Resources when considering applications is to exercise due diligence when making a decision, as it is public money. So this would include things like taking into account any organisations unearmarked, that's general reserves. For instance, do they have more than 12 months worth of funding available? And if so, why are they seeking grant funding? Are the applicants carrying out any fundraising activities, including applying to other organisations for grants? If not, why not? Particularly if the application relates to general costs rather than one-off project costs. Will any grant awarded be of wider public benefit within the Oakhampton Town Council area, or will it just benefit a few people? Is the applicant relying on Oakhampton Town Council to provide funding year on year and not taking steps to become sustainable? And while it is certainly not for Oakhampton Town Council to specify where a successful award is spent, consideration should be given as to whether the amount requested is realistic, reasonable and or specific. So when making decisions, you as members have several options. One, actually, is to turn down an application. Number two is to make a partial award against the whole request, which could be payable when the Town Council has assurances that the organisation has been able to secure the whole amount requested. Or three is to agree to fund a specific item within the application, again payable when the Town Council has assurances that the organisation has been able to secure the whole amount requested, and four, of course, is to agree the full amount of the grant. Okay, so I hope that will help everybody in their decision making this morning, or even this evening. So I will start off with the agenda. So apologies for absence, please, Madam Clerk.
There are Councillors Leach and Tolley, who are both ill, and Councillor Fisher, with no reason given.
Okay, so our protocol is that councillors need to be prepared to give a reason, and then we need a proposal and a second to approve those. So could I have a proposal, and could you be clear what you are proposing, please?
I propose that we accept these apologies for absence and note that Councillor Fisher was unable to give one.
Okay, right, can I second that, please?
I'd like to second that.
Thank you. All in favour, please check. Lovely, thank you. So declarations of interest. So this is to receive disclosures of interest from councillors on matters to be considered at the meeting. The disclosure shall include the nature of the interest. If a member becomes aware during the course of the meeting of an interest that is not being disclosed, they must do so immediately. Any member got anything to declare? Councillor Bird.
I'm a trustee of the West Devon CBS, also a trustee of the Museum of Dartmoor Life, and I attend Red Music for personal reasons.
Thank you. And I declare pecuniary interest in item 6.5 D1, which is citizens' advice, as they're my employer, so I shall remove myself from the room and my vice chair will take that particular application forward when we arrive at it. Okay? Anything else to declare? No. Thank you. So public participation. So this is to receive questions or comments from members of the public, and please note that decisions can not be made on items not detailed on the agenda. I think all our members of the public are all coming to take questions a bit later on, when we will particularly change the agenda to enable that to happen. But just in case there are any members of the public that I've not realised are here and wish to speak, is there anybody? No, speak now, forever hold. Lovely, thank you. Item 4, members' questions. To receive questions from members regarding the workings of the committee. Anybody any questions? Yeah, marvellous. Item 5, minutes. To resolve to approve the minutes of the Policy and Resources Committee meeting held on the 13th of April 2026. They've all been circulated. Could I have a proposer and a seconder, please? Councillor Coleman, Councillor Bird. All in favour, please show. Thank you. So 6.6, which is grant applications. We're starting off with 6.1, which is a Royal British Legion poppy appeal, to resolve a donation of £50 towards the 2026 appeal and wreath for remembrance service. As members are probably aware, we always play a wreath up at the memorial on behalf of the town council, so that obviously needs to be bought, and that comes out of Policy and Resources grants budget. So
I would propose that we make this donation as stated.
Thank you. Is there a seconder, please? Councillor Coleman. In favour? Thank you. Again, with 6.2, St James's Chapel, to resolve to ratify the payment of grant of £1,000 to St James's Chapel as previously agreed and separately budgeted. Again, which I think members are aware of. Councillor.
I would propose that we do that.
Thank you. The seconder, please.
Second.
Councillor Richards, thank you. Can I just remind members, please, to use your microphones, because while there's only a few of us, people at the back and in the public. Thank you. Okey-doke. So then we're moving on to item 6.3, which is our applications up to £399. So I am very much aware you've had a meeting report circulated, which states that even though out of the whole of our budget for the year, which is 29,000, the value of grants that have been requested are over 56,500. So members are aware that we just don't have enough money in the budget to cover everybody's grants, so we just need to be mindful of that as we are working our way through. The clerk will keep a running tally on a spreadsheet just for ease, so we know where we stand as we move forward. So we're starting off with item A, which is Dartmoor Railway Association have requested a grant of £200 towards the cost of their shed. So that is in your papers. The actual amount of money that it's going to cost for the whole project is a lot more than 200, so they are funding the rest themselves. Any comments, members? I did a quick comparison on looking at the accounts, and their unrestricted fund increased by 7,862 between 2024 and financial year 24 to 2025. Councillor.
I would propose that we support the full amount of £200 because they're raising almost the rest of it themselves, so I would propose that we grant them the 200.
Okay, is there a seconder for that, please? Councillor Coleman, all in favour? Please show. It's unanimous, thank you. Then we move on to the Oakhampton Rivers Improvement Group. They're requesting a grant of 260 for insurance costs. And again, as you probably are aware, if you added up the costs of the project, they come to 229.59 for the liability and the trailer insurance, which is less than has been requested. Okay. Over to you, members. This thing with a very small committee with a lot of people absent, it's quite hard. Councillor Coleman.
I'm very mindful of the fact that we don't have enough money for everybody. I'd like to fully support all of these, to be perfectly honest with you. I think for these lesser ones, I'd like to propose that we support this application fully, for the full amount.
Can you clarify, please, when you say the full amount, are you talking about the full costings that they provided, which is 229.59, or the 260?
The 229.59.
Okay, thank you. Is there a seconder for that?
I will second that one.
Second that one, okay. Thank you. All in favour?
Can I just clarify, that's £229.59?
It's the cost of public liability and the trailer, which I did add up yesterday twice. So, okay, thank you. Right, yeah. So item C, which is room 13, or Devon Youth Space Limited, is for a grant of 319 towards the provision of holiday activities. And again, they're unrestricted funds, have increased by 124,662 between 2 years. Of course, that's on a total expenditure of over 3 million, so it's all relative when you're looking at those sorts of figures. Councillor.
I read through the paperwork, and it does cover a number of different things. I'm mindful of the excellent work they do, and I'm mindful that as town council we should be seen to be supporting it. But it covers a number of things, and as you quite rightly say, they have other funds. So I would like to, on the basis of our decision making, I would like to suggest that we offer a partial grant of, say, one-half of the amount asked for. So that would be £195.
Okay, right. So you're proposing
I would propose,
195,000?
yes.
195,000.
£195.
Yes. Okay, so is there a seconder for that? Councillor Coleman, any debate?
I would suggest we round it up to 200, just for, rather than 195, that we round up to 200.
Are you happy to accept that as an amendment?
I'm entirely comfortable with that statement.
Are you happy to accept that? So, okay, so that is then the 200. Okay, so all in favour, please show. Thank you. So then we move on to item 6.4, which are for applications between £400 and £2,999. Page a minute. So So then we are looking at hospice care, which are requesting a grant of 1,500 towards the cost of the provision of community nursing team. Again, their unrestricted reserves increased by £442.85. On total expenditure of 11 million. Councillor Bell.
Just be mindful that we've got a limited amount of money. I was thinking to propose that we support them with £1,000 instead of the 1,500, just so then we can support others too. So that'd be my proposal, that we support it to 1,000 and not 1,500.
Okay, so is there a seconder for that?
I will second that.
Okay, any debate? Okay, so all in favour, please show. Thank you. So then we move to the Northampton Community Market. I just need to get the right page in the papers. So they're requesting a grant, of £1,119.88 for the purchase of a gazebo, what says gazebos, I think it is gazebos, and associated weights. So this is 4 gazebos and 4, then the weights that need to pin them down so they don't blow away in the Oakhampton weather. And we have seen an indication of the market's finances, which they don't have a huge amount of money in hand, and the reasons why they're coming for the application. Councillor Richards.
Again, I read through the application and I understand completely the nature of the request. Okay. Again, taking into consideration our financial situation, I think the application has as much merit as all the others do, but it is capable of being divided into 2 parts, which is a part for the actual gazebos themselves and a part for the weights. Now, the reason I suggest that we fund just the gazebos is because then it is something that we can monitor and see that it is actually spent as per the request. And secondly, strangely enough, weights are something that could be, should we say, made up from other materials, and it's not necessarily something which has to be purchased in a retail form. And I have some experience of this situation. So my proposal is that we fund the gazebos, but not the weights.
Okay, I will just come back in because there's potentially a health and safety issue because it's in a commercial setting, not to have the appropriate weights, that was all. But if you want to make that as a set proposal, let's see if there is a seconder for that.
I would second that, but my reasoning would be, I think that we could support them with the cost of the gazebos, and then they could perhaps go to other places to get the cost of the weights. So if they need to have it more commercially, but I would support that we pay them £639.96 for the gazebos.
Would that be on the proviso that they can get funding elsewhere for the weights, so they get the full project funded?
I would say no, because I think having got the gazebos, even if they don't get another grant, I think they would probably manage it. So I don't think we need to put that proviso in for myself.
Okay, so just to be clear, you are proposing and seconding £639.96 for the 4 weights.
That is correct.
That's correct, yeah. And you're seconding. That's good, yeah. Any debate? Okay, so all in favour, please show.
Just to confirm, 63996.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, not dependent on, yeah. Okay, so the next item is OCRA, the Oakhampton Community Recreation Association. and they are requesting a grant of £490 towards the cost of Sporting Sunday. And if my memory serves me correctly, I think this is predominantly because it was something that Town Council asked for quite a long time ago, many years ago, if I remember.
Possibly,
Possibly
but it would have been a
very
long
long
time
time
ago.
Yeah, we're not sort of, we didn't commit to fund it, but it's something that's been part of it. So you can see what the actual full costs would be, and they're requesting £490. Councillor Coleman.
Opera, we've got a long history of providing a lot of support to the town and various organisations, putting on various functions, bits and pieces. It's not a massive amount of money, and I think we should support this fully. So I'd like to propose that we support them with the £490 that they've asked for.
Thank you. Seconded for that, Councillor.
I would second that partly as well because in the application they've actually looked elsewhere and they've got 4 other organisations pitching in too, so we would be part of that. So I would agree, second, that we support the full £490.
Thank you. Any debate? No. Okay. All in favour, please show. Lovely. Thank you. Then we move to Oakhampton Primary School PTFO, which is for a grant of £1,500, and they've requested towards coaches for school trips and or materials to repair garden planters. And you'll see in your documentation that they've just given an indication that the bus to Exeter is about £800, and then on the back page of the bit relation to this is that the full cost of the plant or the planters and associated bits and pieces is £557.96, and they are requesting £1,500 altogether. They do have unrestricted reserves of 2,527. There isn't anything to compare with previous year. Councillor Bird.
I propose that we, again, it's cutting it just because of the amount of money we have, not because they're not worthy of it, but I propose that we give them £1,000, which would cover 1 coach trip of 800, and then it would give them £200 towards the planters. That would be what I would propose.
Okay, is it 1,000, did you say?
1,000
Yes.
altogether.
Is there a second of that? No, so that one is lost. Okay, fine. Is there an alternative proposal from the floor, please? Councillor Coleman.
I propose that we cover the bus trip of £800
Yeah.
and ask that they try and find the money for the planters from elsewhere.
Okay. Councillor Richards, you have to second
I will second that proposal,
that?
yes.
Thank you. Any debate? Okay, so that's 800. All in favour, please show. Thank you. Quick counter around Oakhampton here as we go. So this is now Oakhampton Rugby Football Club. We're requesting a grant of £500 towards the provision of kit and kit bags, which I know is to be able to provide some sort of uniformity in their how they all turned out. So at the moment we have different kits from different places. Some are very old and they want to try and have a uniform appearance. So the actual quote is over £8,000 for what it's going to cost, and they're requesting £500 from us. They have applied to other sources.
And it has been.
And their free reserves are actually reduced by 8,977 between the two financial years. Any comments? Councillor Richards.
I personally, having looked at the application form where this is only a relatively small part of the actual money that they're asking for. On this occasion, I'm actually feel that as it's a smaller end of our budget, that we could and should say yes. So I would like to propose that we make the award of £500 requested.
Is there a second of that, please? Councillor Coleman, thank you. Any debate? Okay, all in favour, please show. Lovely, thank you. Item E, which is the Oakhampton Small Ball Club for a grant of 2,500 towards the roof replacement cost. Again, they have showed where they've applied for other sources. When taking into account the income and expenditure, their carry forward figure is a lot less than it was at the end of the last financial year. And their reserves are reduced by over 10,000. Councillor Richards.
Madam Chair, the two things I think that, or two or three things that are running through my mind that we could take into consideration is, first of all, I'm a little anxious about the fact that it's not a great number of people which are actually benefiting from this award. Okay. Secondly, some of the people will not necessarily be from Oakhampton or the Hamlets. Again, so it slightly makes me feel uncomfortable. Secondly, I'm a little bit anxious that it's for. I'm very aware of the sporty nature of this, but I am a little anxious about the idea of encouraging sort of rifle and pistol shooting, if you see what I mean. So, from a personal point of view, I have slight concerns. Also, again, we take into consideration the fact that we don't have the money. And therefore, under the circumstances, I am minded to suggest that as they're asking for 2,500, I think we should do something, but I don't think we should be doing 2,500. Therefore, I am minded to propose that we offer them £1,000 towards.
And would that be subject to them raising the full
Yes,
amount, which
indeed.
actually they almost have done, I think.
Yeah.
So that would be subject to that. Okay, so that's a proposal for 1,000, subject to them
Would you be putting any timescale on that?
within this financial year. It would need to be within this financial year, because that's when our grant budget. Yeah. Okay, so that's within this financial year. So that's £1,000 within this, with them raising the balance, otherwise they need to come back next year. Is there a second of that?
I second that.
Okay. Any debate?
I know they don't have a huge amount of members. I disagree with Councillor Richards with regards to his views on rifle and pistol shooting. There's a lot of evidence to suggest that actually it's quite a good sport for people that are interested in small bore firearms. Teaches a lot of skill and responsibility to younger members as well, which is something that you don't get in a lot of other walks of life. I would have liked to have seen them receive a little more than that. I think it's a shame that you can't give them a whole lot actually.
So I've got a proposal and a second of 1,000. So I'll take that to the vote. All in favour, please show. Any against? Any abstentions? Thank you. Okay, now we're on item F. So again, this is the Oakhampton Women's Institute for a grant of £500 to assist with running costs as outlined in their budget. be worth having a look at the budget to see the sort of things that they're funding. They have, I think, made it clear, because within the application they did say they wanted to raise some, to be able to pass funding on to other organisations, that part of our policy is that actually we can't use, that the funding can't be used for that. We provide a grant to an organisation for it to deliver on its own objectives, not for them to then pass that on as grant funding to others. And so they did come back, that was queried, and they did come back, which you've got in your particular papers, that talks about the hire of the Auckland Centre that they use and their speakers, etc., and arranging for days out, and that's what any grant received would go towards those costs. Okay, so just to clarify that. Councillor Richards.
Madam Chair, it's an extremely worthy cause. It's open to absolutely, you might say, all the ladies, and therefore it has potentially a very wide appeal. I'm a little bit concerned about the word that comes to mind, nebulous nature of the request. But so therefore, under the circumstances, I would like to propose that in line with our policy of reducing things, that we offer them or we provide them with a grant of £300.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second to that? I'd say Councillor Bird. Any debate? No. Okay, all in favour, please show. That's 300. Lovely, thank you. So item 9 is the Oki Music Day for a grant. So again, they're coming for a grant of £500, which is towards the band fees, equipment, insurance, and event costs. It didn't run last year, so any comparison figures are from 2023. Sorry, it did run in 25. Sorry, there was a break in 2024. Yeah, and their reserves actually reduced by the grant total of £7.89 between the 2 years. I think we have provided a grant most years, haven't we? They've come to us for a grant most years, I believe, on this one. This is one I'd quite like to see becoming sustainable, because they bring a lot of people and trade into them. It operates out the pub, so it's really nice to have there. Councillor Coleman.
As you say, it does bring a lot of people into town, and gets the town out and brings us together. I think I'd like to propose that we offer them or award them 350. Once again, we've just got to be really careful on our budgets. I'd love to give them everything, but I just don't think we can. So yeah, I'll propose 350.
Okay, 350 proposed. Is there a second? Councillor Bird. Okay. Any debate? No. All in favour, please show. Lovely, thank you. H is the stay and play. Beginning of the Stay and Play Cafe, which is run by the West Devon Methodist Circuit, for a grant of £2,989 for 28B towards the purchase of cooking equipment and Lego, which is the actual amount, I think, of, when you add it all up, that is the amount it is. They've received a grant from another organisation towards the revenue costs and disposables, so for part of the project they've gone elsewhere and given funding. Again, looking specifically at the accounts for the stay and play, it wasn't possible to tell how much a reserve fund forms part of it, because the reserve doesn't show how much it shows forms part of the expenditure in their budget. So I couldn't calculate that one. Councillor Bird.
They do such a good job. I think that they do really well. I was going to suggest, because just looking at what they're applying for in detail, I wondered whether we should go for half, like 1,500, for they're almost asking for 3,000, and if we offer them half, then we can, yeah, that's my thoughts.
And is that subject to getting full funding elsewhere, or?
I don't know,
could
it's
just,
not,
reduce,
because, because they've priced up what they would like, and I think if we give them 1,500, they've got another grant, and then they could just buy what they need, and they might have to, because the things they've asked for, perhaps, they're going for top rate, and they might have to get a cheaper one of what they're wanting, and they could still cover the cost, so okay.
So it's 1,500, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a seconder for that, please? Councillor Coleman, any debate? All in favour, please show. Okay, thank you. And then so it's one for I, the West End CBS, which is for a grant of £750 for the provision of staff, support for groups, venue hire, other costs and resources. And this is all to do with the health and well-being event that they hold in the autumn, which is for not-for-profits to attend, to raise their profile, and for the public to come along and see what's available and what's out there. So the full costs of it would be £1,000. They're asking us for 750 and would contribute match funding themselves of 250, but they don't want anyone else. Councillor Coleman.
I think CDS are an incredible organisation. They umbrella so many. What have we got here? Is that 434 voluntary and community organisations?
Yes.
And for £750, if you want value for money, that's pretty good, because they do a lot of work. So I'd like to propose that we do the full 750 for those.
Okay, is there a second of that? No, that one's lost, I'm afraid. Is there an alternative proposal?
Before taking the proposal, I'm very aware of our situation with WDCBS, West End CBS, but having attended this particular autumn event, which was frankly not very well attended, not particularly successful at what it set out to achieve, okay, I have to say. I wish they hadn't used this as the thing to hang their request for funds on, okay. It's not, by my feeling, it's not the ideal thing. It was not. It's something I've spoken to the Chief Executive Officer about. There are things that need to be done differently for that event to be useful. Okay, so for that reason, I also didn't agree. But I would like us to do something to demonstrate. Support. So I would like to propose that we provide shall we say, the sum of £400.
Okay, that's what your proposal is. Because Councillor Bird has to abstain, of course, because she's a trustee. So you have to second that.
Yes.
Okay. There's a lot of thought in there. I've had the cog's turn. Okay. All in favour, please show. Thank you. Any abstentions? Lovely. Thank you very much. Right, so that's the small and that's the medium grants done. I'm going to ask the clerk for an update of how much is left in the pot, please.
Bear with me a second. I thought I had set up a running total, but it appears I didn't. Sorry.
It's around 22,000 at the moment.
Yeah.
bear with me a second. So we've got that. Minus oh no, I'm doing it on the wrong one. I don't want it on that one. Sorry.
So just while Clark is working out the figures, I'm going to explain to you guys now what's actually going to happen next. So you are all people representing the organisations who've come in for an application of 3,000 or more. So we had to amend our policy because originally the idea was that you'd be able to come and give a presentation to us, and that would have been, because there are 9 organisations, that would have been a long time with everybody sitting and, you know, best will in the world how much information can come in. And our standing orders just require us to get the meeting done in an hour and a half, let alone anything else. So we actually changed our policy just to perhaps be able to take questions. So what I'd like to say first of all is thank you all very much indeed for coming out and coming down. I know some have travelled further afield than others, but I really do appreciate the fact that you've come to talk to us today. We will shortly, in a few minutes, what we'll do is something called suspending standing orders. It's just kind of how we function for members of the public to be able to speak. We have to come out of our standing orders, and we will then, or I'll invite you to come up one at a time to the microphone if you'd be so kind, and then you say which organisation you're from, and if you're happy to disclose your name, that'd be great. It is go through the live stream. Members will then have an opportunity just to ask you a few questions for clarification if they wish to do so, if they haven't been able to find out everything they need to know from the application. I'm going to just say a time limit for practical reasons for 3 minutes for each organisation. That's where I have my timer, okay? And then when we've gone through all the questions, we will then reinstate standing orders, and then we will work our way through the applications and decide then how much we can give to each organisation. So there won't be an opportunity for members to ask any further questions. And I have made it clear to any members who happen to sit on any other of the organisations that they can't field questions either, because that's not fair on you all sat in the audience. Okay, so that's just to give you an idea how we will move it forward. All right. So, Madam Clerk, if you've got...
You've got just over 21,000.
Okay, 21k left.
Yeah, £340 and a few pence.
Okay. Right, so 6.5A, which is to resolve to suspend standing orders to allow representatives of groups and organisations listed at 6.5D, which is below, to answer any questions that may be posed by members of the committee. Okay, so could I have a proposal to suspend standing orders? Councillor Coleman, a seconder. Councillor Richards, all in favour? It's unanimous, thank you. So we will go to the first one, but because I have what's called a pecuniary interest, because I work for Citizens Advice, I will leave the room and I will leave my vice chair to deal with questions that members may have for Citizens Advice, okay? Thank you.
Cool. So could I invite the representative from Citizen Advice to come up to the floor?
Great. Hi, I'm Vicky from Citizens Advice. I'm the Chief Exec.
Oh, fantastic, great, nice to keep it coming. So we're just going to open up to have any questions for Vicky. Is there anybody, Councillor Richard, Councillor Coleman, got any questions that you would like to ask this time? No? You've got a question.
A question that I've been asked to confirm is it correct to assume that the quantity of people that are requesting your services is continuing to increase, and that has there been any sort of spike in it, sort of a noticeable increase in the recent part, in the recent months?
Thank you. That's a good question. So, year on year, we find that our unmet demand numbers increase, and that's really down to the living standards and the cost of living crisis. But people's problems have, over the last few years, got more complex. So we tend to spend more time with the individuals than we have ever before. So it's like a double whammy. So we have more people needing our help, and our resources are stretched because we're spending longer with people.
And just reading from your application, so we aim to recruit 3 new volunteers in Oakhampton, and that's a cost of 4,950. So what have you got in place right now in Oakhampton?
Yes, we have a number of volunteers already in Oakhampton supporting our telephone, web chat, email and also our face-to-face services. But because of unmet demand, we want to increase those numbers. So that's why we're looking for another 3. So those volunteers will help on our telephone, but most importantly, for our most vulnerable people, we're at the Ockman Centre and we open 3 days a week there. So it'll be to support the drop-ins and people coming face-to-face to the office.
Great, thank you. Any more questions? No? Councillor Richards? No. Okay, that's great, thank you very much.
Wonderful, thank you. So then the second one is actually for the Ockman Centre. So Donna, perhaps you'd be kind enough to come out and pop the microphone on. So that's lovely, thank you. So members, any questions for Donna? Oh, that's fine.
Yes.
Just a quick question. Donna, what sort of challenges are you facing at the minute?
Just, I mean, we apply for funding for other things, but just the day-to-day running, we put our costs up every year. For corporate businesses, we have a set price, but so many not-for-profit groups, we charge a special price because they can't run if their costs are too high, and it's just that balance and just keeping the reception staff because it's very busy, you know. We get people coming in for any number of things, and we like to be able to signpost, and we have a lot of local knowledge, and we want to help everybody that comes in and go in with a smile.
Thank you. It's always struck me as a really useful and important resource for the town. So thank you.
Yeah, just checking. Councillor Richards, did you have your hand up? I missed it.
I believe I have read, and I just wanted to confirm this, that according to our summary, the money is requested to help towards the reception staff. Is that correct?
Yeah.
What will it says keeping the reception staffed. What sort of service, apart from having someone there to sort of say hello, what does the reception person do in addition to that, just sort of signposting and?
I mean, yeah, the reception does everything from the accounts to answering the phone to,
Right.
you know, we are a team. We've got 5 staff all together, and only 2 work through the day and 1 in the evening, and we have to do everything basically, from setting up rooms to paperwork to showing people to their rooms and dealing with the members of the public when they come in and supporting the groups that we have there. It's multitasking.
Okay. Thank you.
I was just going to ask that at the moment with the reception staff, is it stretched as in, is there sometimes when you don't have anybody cover, or is it just that you're just stretching your staff so you do?
We stretch in our staff, so we do, in the evening we don't cover it all the time, so that when the group's coming in and out, we try to have someone there, but we just can't afford to have someone there all evening, but we try to at least have one person around.
Great, thank you. Okay, that's it. So thank you very much.
And Oakhampton District Community Transport Group. All over. Lovely. Thank you.
Hello.
Okay, yeah, no, it's got to, yeah, that's it, that's brilliant, thank you.
My name's Paul Ranscombe, I'm the manager of Oakhampton Community Street Transport Group.
Wonderful, thank you. Any questions from members? Councillor Coleman.
Every time I put my hand up, you're just looking away. Thank you for coming. Obviously, fuel costs are going to be an issue at the minute, as they are with everybody. Are there any other major issues that you're facing at the moment?
So with the fuel costs, there is also, we have 4 of our own vehicles, so there's an increase in the cost of keeping them on the road. We have 2 fairly new vehicles which are, on the road and behaving very well, but we have a minibus which is very reliant for our lifestyle trips, which if it has any issues, it has to get done because we don't want to let a bus full of people down. So the transport costs overall have increased with maintenance. Yeah. With an increase as well in clients, and the needs of our clients are changing, they're becoming a little bit more complex. And so we're trying to recruit. Well, we've been very lucky this year. We've got 7 new volunteers and 2 new bus buddies, and we're seeing an increase in the request for the bus buddies. People want the confidence to go out on the vehicle and get out and have a social life. So that's all part of the recruitment, which obviously costs. There's a cost to everything, I suppose. So that's mainly, we're finding it increasingly difficult because we're transport to find other forms of funding. It's not that we don't look, we are, on a weekly basis we're applying for something, but it's becoming very difficult. A lot of the funders, in fact, sort of say they won't support community transport, so it's becoming very difficult.
Thank you. I just had a quick question. So it's something because of how the application form's been filled in, and me just not quite sure. We talk about how many beneficiaries approximately in Oakhampton, 1,260, in the Hamlet 74. I can get. But then there's a little bit further on, we ask about the wider Oakhampton area and the new housing developments, which fall mainly within the area of the parish council and not that of the town council. So it says where the event is expected to benefit residents of the hamlets as well as the town, please indicate the approximate proportion for each parish area. Provide details. But I think what you've obviously done is Brightly South, got Meldon and Stockley.
Yes.
So rather than referring to the hamlets and the town, or even outside of the area. So I think that together comes to about 5.79%, which leaves the 94.21. So that's obviously from elsewhere. That's not all from the town centre, is it? That would be
Right, no, that's it. Yeah.
wider afield
The
as
wider
well.
afield as well.
You've got the particular area.
Yeah.
Thank you. So are you seeking funding? Yes, you have. You said you've gone to parish councils. Yeah, that's what I was just doing a little check on. Lovely. Thank you.
Yes.
Anybody else? Any other questions? No. Lovely. Thank you very much indeed.
Shall I leave that one?
Yeah, leave that one until we get to Marilyn yourself. Okay, so now we move to Oakhampton Pride, which is Daniel and Luke, if you'd like to come forward. Thank you, and I'll let you both start to answer questions. Okay. So has anybody got any questions on this one? Councillor Richards.
It's purely an administrative question as much as anything. It would appear that the Pride is requesting £3,000 from us for an event that is going to be held in should we say 6 weeks' time. And I'm just a little anxious about timings on this. I'm hoping that that you have. I'm just concerned that there seems to be only a 6 week Under normal circumstances, I would have thought we would have
I
had
can actually explain, because to do that policy, we just don't do retrospective.
Right.
So if somebody's running an event, and even if it's next week, it's not retrospective. So people can come forward with an application as long as it's
right in the
then-
future.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's fine, 'cause that would be your to do with.
Yeah. Okay, so you're all right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Councillor,
Yeah, just for the £3,000, because although it kind of gives the general of what you're going to do, can you give us a bit more explanation of how you would use the £3,000 if you
So-
were to be awarded it?
Essentially, so last year was the first one we sort of held, which I sort of put together in about 5 weeks or so. So this year it's just trying to grow it, but sort of do it organically. So the grant sort of enables us in terms of like staging, so we can pay for acts, and I can provide the space for people to have, and it just means I can pay the people that, so for like the staging, the quotes, and just, I can't speak now, I'm going to dry mouth.
Help make it bigger and better, but without jumping too fast. We're not holding Glastonbury. But stuff like toilets, because we didn't use Simmons Park last year, staging and sound equipment. There's going to be a sports day, so we're going to get equipment for that, like a high heel 3-legged race, and just silly little things like that. So it's to help keep it going and provide a better format for us next year to lead into, essentially.
Okay. Right, that's follow. Yeah, so it's not just for the 18th of July. This would be other events through the year as well. I think you did say that it's for other events.
It is, yeah, it's predominantly for this festival, shall we call it, but it's to help do fundraisers earlier in the year. So we have done fundraisers this year, but we've had to find the funds to be able to book the hall to do said fundraiser, but then we can start in, let's say, October and get the ball running as quick as possible, straight after the current festival, to help us get it going.
Yeah, it's just essentially, it means because the funds that we currently have, it's a case of that will put us basically at a standing zero, so without the cost of the grant. So to put this event on this year, the cost of it will put us back at zero, so it just kind of limits to what we can do next year. It just enables us to be able to afford that little bit more without having to find the whole amount again to start with next year.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
I just have one quick question, don't mind that we've gone over 3 minutes, but I just wouldn't, because you provided the sheet, which potential
Yeah.
costs, and then when you broke it down, so we've got sort of anticipating money out of 2962 in sort of all that list of things. But then you referred to, which I've not heard before, cost of favours.
Yes.
That's an interesting wording. So these are sort of a bit of the wish list. Is that basically it's not necessarily key to.
Yeah, so sorry. The favours more so is companies that have come forward and offered us services, but have done it without. They've done it without a charge basically this year. So we put that on because we wanted to highlight the fact of we're trying to bring in businesses and companies that want to help us out, and a lot of them are doing that free of charge for us this year. But normally that would cost us that set amount to be able to have it.
Right, so basically, yeah, so basically it's the benefit in kind that you're getting from people. But that 2962, so that is what the actual costs will be.
Yeah,
Yes,
roughly,
and then you've got the value of 1299 and then your ideal wish list. That's
Yeah.
that's right. Okay, fine, thank you. Anybody else have any other questions? No, lovely. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, we now have Museum of Dartmoor Life. This is somebody here from Museum of Dartmoor Life? No? Okay. And North Devon Search and Rescue, please, which is Harry and Roger. Roger or Harry?
I'm Roger. Harry
You're
sends his
Roger.
apologies.
Okay.
He's broken down on the way here.
Oh no. Right, do we need transport for help? Thank you, nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Members, so if you've got any questions for Roger at all? Councillor, yeah. Councillor.
Roger, obviously this is my question to everyone. What particular issues and problems are you facing at the minute?
from a cost point of view for the team this year, because we're obviously a charity and voluntary based, we've had to replace 2 of our Land Rovers. We've got a new leaky roof, £21,000. New ropes equipment is requested and being applied for funding for that, and water rescue equipment. So from a cost and raising funds to keep the team going in the direction it is and keep up to speed with what's required. Here we've got quite an expensive year this year. So that's our funding challenges, if you like. Plus medical equipment, of course, which is why I'm here today.
Thank you.
Thank you. In the application form, there's 2 figures quoted, one net VAT and one gross with VAT. Are you VAT exempt or, in other words, are you applying for inclusive of VAT?
I was applying for inclusive.
Inclusive of VAT, which is, which is the 4437.
That's
fine. I just wanted to clarify so the 2 figures in there. Okay, so it is members just to be aware it is the 443760. Anybody else? Councillor Richards, did you have a question?
Yes, I do. This is probably bearing in mind that colleague councillor knows so much about rescue. This may seem as a rather basic question, but my personal experience has been in cave rescue many years ago. And when I talk about cave rescue, I'm thinking in terms of how that is a voluntary activity that we all used to dive into to actually assist. But invariably, the people that we were rescuing were not local to us. Invariably, they were from London, and so on and so forth. So my concern, I'd just like to understand, and how you would justify to a ratepayer in Oakhampton, how you would justify us providing you with a grant which comes from our taxes and precept, in terms of the fact that the majority of people that you assist will not actually be residents of the area. How would you sell the benefit to a taxpayer here rather than?
Sure. I think it's fair to say that the majority of our call-outs will be to local residents, or a larger percentage than not. But of course, it's remembering, I suppose, that we're there as a rescue team to support the emergency services. So quite often we will be supporting the police, the ambulance, the fire brigade, who are also tight on resources. So by us as volunteers going in and taking over that search and rescue and the casualty treatment and handover, we're sort of freeing up resources for the services to be able to support the Oakhampton community in other ways, rather than being 6 hours in a fairly remote location of Dartmoor or rural Devon, really, in the area. So that would be my sell, I think. Yeah.
Most acceptable.
Thank you. And I assume most of your volunteers, of course, are drawn very much from the local population who all need to be trained and
100% volunteers, and we train them a number of times a week. So yeah, that's all.
And they are from the Oakhampton area, basically.
Absolutely. There's a few outside the Oakhampton area, but the majority live within the parish for sure.
Yeah. So there's upskilling of those individuals actually as well.
Absolutely right. Yeah, absolutely.
Lovely. Thank you. Anybody else any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, thank you very much. Okay. And Robert Schlinton, and I'm awfully sorry, I've just gone completely blank on your name. I do apologise.
Didn't understand it, so she's coming over from
Oh, okay. We're friendly. We all had tea.
I'm Lisa, I'm the volunteer chairman of the Transformers Legion, and this is it.
I'm Geraldine, I'm a committee member.
Thank you for coming. So, members, do you have any questions? Well, they're thinking, I do have one. When I put it up in the application form, the value of what you'd listed came to 289,560.
Yeah.
And you'd asked for a grant for 5,000, so I kind of was going to ask if you could.
Yeah, we've been trying to fundraise ourselves, because it's very old building and needs a lot more than is on that sheet. New carpets, toilets doing, new tables and chairs, and we want to make it more. We're trying to do what we can. We've fundraised every year for a boiler. Other sources don't seem to want to help us because we're not registered charity. We don't know help from the main British Legion, so anything we do ourselves. We run mainly on volunteers. And we try and, for example, we did fundraising a few months ago for the local veterans. We support the local poppy appeal. We always do a free buffet and we goodie bags for kids for Remembrance Sunday. But we have to raise these funds. So at the moment, our main fundraising a couple of years ago was the new boiler, then the chiller. And now we're at the state where we're taping carpets and our chairs are quite rickety, and our fridge is broken behind the bar, so we have got a lot of other things that need doing. We put down the necessities, because last we wanted an elderly person tripping up on a carpet, and we want it a safe place for people to come and meet up. So there is quite a lot. I didn't want to overwhelm you with a massive list of everything that we need at the minute.
And sort of weekly, something comes up.
Yeah. So yeah, I should probably be a little bit more precise with everything.
Thank you very much.
That's okay.
Councillor Coleman.
Sounds like it'd be safe to say that you're up against it.
Yes, yeah, it's very challenging, but to me it's worthwhile. When some of the older generation meet up on a Saturday morning and you hear them talking and you know they're probably not going to see anyone else till the following Saturday, that's what makes my volunteering worthwhile. Because, like the local veterans, we raised the other week £1,200. So we try and do it outskirts, but we fundraise a lot because we have to get by ourselves, and I would feel very sad if that, we couldn't have it nicer and more welcoming and, for everybody.
The poppy appeal will be based obviously with us.
We help with that, don't we?
Yeah.
We store the stuff there now and we help with the poppy appeal, delivering, collecting, counting. So I think there's branch meat there, and we also open up bingos now to ladies that again are sat at home that like to come in, but we want them to be able to sit at a chair that's not broken and with a carpet that they can't trip over. So we've been turned down a few times because we're not a registered charity. So that's why we come to you for help.
Thank you very much. Just one other question, just in the application form. So for application to the size, the handout does generally require statement of accounts for the most recent accounting year. You've got that. You've got that come through, have you?
Yes, today.
And the constitution.
Yes.
Oh, right. Okay.
Well, a rule book.
That's fine.
I've just got a few pages off, and not the whole thing, because it's a very big document.
It is.
Lovely, thank you. I just wanted to check if that had been put through. Anybody, any other questions? No. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And now, Tour Sport, Emma, Chair of Trustees, I believe. Thank you.
I'm Emma Circle, I'm the Chair of Trustees for Tour Support Services.
Thank you. So, anybody got any questions for Councillor Richards?
Yes. I believe, perhaps you could enlighten me, am I right in understanding that one of the reasons for your existence is because the MAT has done away with sort of funded support for young people, and therefore would it be reasonable to say that if that be the case, that you've actually had to step in?
I think that's how we started many years ago.
Right.
And I think that we've just seen a rise of mental health issues across the board in children and young people. So we serve our services for children aged 5 to 25. We are based at Oakhampton College, so we have a gift in kind of the use of premises, so we're not charged for office space there, which is very generous of them, so they support us in that way. We have very close links with the college. There's a massive need around the lack of below CAMS sort of threshold for children and young people's mental health. The complexity we see increases year on year because that threshold just gets higher because they don't receive more statutory funding into statutory mental health. You know, unfortunately, we keep getting told it's going to increase, but we just see more and more need and complexity of need. We have now just got the mental health in schools team at the college, which has helped, they take the sort of lower complexity as well, and they do group work. So that's been really helpful. It hasn't seen a drop in our numbers, but we've seen a stable number in the last year that they've been present. We have still got quite long waiting lists. We have a lot of funding challenges. It's harder and harder to get grants for services because we're not project based, it's core costs. You know, it costs us sort of £120,000 to run the service to deliver to about 270 children a year. And we want to reduce our waiting times rather than being 3 or 4 months. We'd like to provide more service. We are actively fundraising all of the time. We had a little bit of a gap with our fundraising team swapping over last year. So there's been a little bit of catching up to do. We've now got 2 fundraisers in place. We're only spending money on 20 hours a month, but they're doing sterling work to look at all other funding resources. And you guys have always supported us very well, and we're very grateful, but understand your constraints regarding finances as everyone's under financial constraints. And we do go out to all of our local parishes, and everyone's been as generous as they can be to support us, because we are supporting our young people in and around Oakhampton. We also get a commission service we provide to the local GP surgeries in our primary care network. So my practice, I'm a GP up at Oakhampton, Chagford, Cheriton Bishop, Morton Hampstead and Blake House Surgery as well. So they fund the hours through there.
Thank you. You talk about an average of 8 sessions per client.
Yeah.
How many, I've got no word question really, does that 8 sessions generally cover in the sense that the client, the young person, do they come back, or would that 8 sessions be sufficient? In other words, this was a kind of looking at the efficacy of...
It's all very individual led, so there are very few that will have many more than 8 sessions. We are very mindful that we'll try and do a piece of work. It's not open-ended forever because we want to serve as many young people as we can. So some people do return maybe a few years later, you know, because we cover such a large age group, and we're trying to give people the tools they need to improve their own resilience and to cope with the stresses of life ahead. But sometimes, as we all know, we need further sessions. All of us do. You know, I think all of us could benefit from counselling at some point in our life and support. So people do come back, but it's not a given that they will come back. And it is an average, and some people may not return, or it's not the right service for them. They just decide counselling is not right for them at this time, and others will have a few sessions longer.
So the general rule of thumb is that that's the sort of sessions, and that will be...
Yeah, that's what we try and work to, so that we're trying to make sure we're protecting the service for as many people as possible.
Yeah, lovely, thank you. Anybody else any questions? No? Thank you very much indeed. And last but not least, Marion, thank you. Thank you very much.
Hello, I'm Marilyn Tucker. I'm Chief Executive of Red Music.
Thank you. So any questions for Marion? Because she's been sat there waiting.
Trouble is, we know exactly what Ren does.
I can answer that.
No. Say we do.
I see you know.
Yeah, the reverse, that one knows exactly what you do. Yeah. Now, so many different ways.
Yes, I must commend you for the breakdown of actually extrapolating the Oakhampton data, which is really helpful, because I know you are much further afield, but it's very helpful to have that sort of.
And we're becoming more and more Oakhampton focused as well over time, with the proposal to try and save Ebenezer as a public building for Oakhampton.
Yeah, okay. So, and Councillor Coleman.
With that in mind, would you say that more people are coming into Oakhampton with you?
Yes, I mean, we do serve a lot of local people, but some people do come in, especially for our monthly groups. And I was mindful of what we do with our monthly groups, like our men's sing group is mostly people that come in, but we then spend money locally because they have an annual residential, which all our residentials happen up at the youth hostel. So we trade locally as well.
Thank you.
Anybody any other questions? No? Thank you very much. Do you mind just pressing the button as you... Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. So I should like to thank you all ever so much for your presence here, for speaking and taking questions. We will now work our way through the list. You are, of course, very welcome to stay if you've lost the will to live, especially anybody who's got a long journey. You can actually watch the recording. It's live streamed on Facebook, but then the recording is uploaded to YouTube, so you can catch it later if you want. So anybody who wants to go or needs to go, that's fine. It's entirely with you, so you can come and go as you please. All right. So thank you.
I'll propose that we return to standing
We
orders.
say standing orders. Second, Councillor Coleman. All in favour? Lovely. Thank you very much. So the first item is going to be citizens' advice. So again, give your interest in both of you through.
Okay, so Councillor Coleman.
So, taking into consideration what we've got left and how much is being asked for, 49% works across the board.
Have you noted the slight discrepancy there, where the amount requested is 8,000, but the maximum grant permitted is 5?
I did, but at 49% it comes under the 5,000. So yes, I'm happy to propose 49% for citizens' advice.
Okay, so that'd be about £4,000 then?
Yeah.
Approximately, yeah.
Yeah, we'd have to do it. If it goes 50% across the board, it goes over. 49% comes in just under what we've got left in the budget. That's if we go across the board.
Yeah, I think also though we do need to take them one at a time rather than, because otherwise you're making a decision straight across.
Yeah, that's fine.
But yeah, have you got any come back on that, Councillor Richards?
I have to say that we do need to be careful in making that sort of judgment, because I have to say that I have written out my own, shall we say, wish list. I cannot see any other way to do it and balance the budget.
Okay, but if we take, we
So
need to
I'm
take.
sorry about that, but I can't see any other way to do it. But having said that, my wish would be also to support Councillor Coleman's proposal, and I would certainly second the sum of £4,000.
Okay. That's a bit more than 49%.
It is.
That there are, in my opinion, there are, to put it bluntly, others less worthy.
Okay. So have we got an exact amount that we want to agree on?
Bear with me. I haven't got to that because I was listening to people talking.
Well, they've asked for, well, I had suggested 4,000.
Okay, so we've got a proposal for 4,000.
The 49% runs in at 3,920.
That was the first
And you
proposal.
rounded it up.
That was my
That was the
proposal.
You ought to blame
Okay,
it
so
on
the
it.
first proposal is £3,920. Do we have a seconder for that? Okay, got a seconder. All in favour? Okay. Thank you. All in councillor.
Okay, so we then moved to the Opera Centre requesting a grant of £5,000 towards the costing of reception or staffing reception.
That's more.
Okay, members, any comment? Again, reserves reduced by 685 from 45 from previous year.
I've got the grants coming
Right. So any comments? Not, could I have a proposal, please? Thank you.
I would like to propose that we do 2,500. So 50% was in that spot.
Okay, is there a second of that? Ian, seconding? Yeah? Any debate?
No.
All in favour? Thank you. Then we move to the Oakhampton Community District Transport Group for a grant of £5,000 towards the vehicles and the running costs. Very, very difficult, I have to say. I haven't got enough money to go around. I want to give it all to you, but it's really hard. Yeah, so Councillor Collins.
I just wanted to, well, I was going to say pretty much what you said. It's everybody on this list deserves basically what they've asked for, really, and more probably in some cases, definitely. It's just very, very difficult to try and do this fairly and reasonably. I'm not making a proposal at the moment.
Councillor Richards, you've got your microphone on, you're going to say something. That's an effective tool, I must remember that. That's fine.
I'll make the proposal in line with my 49% theory, which works out at 2,450.
Okay. So it's a proposal for 2450, yeah?
Okay, I second that.
Okay, any debate?
You've got just under £12,500
After or before?
after.
After, okay. Any debate, Councillor Richards, or you
I was going to suggest that we make it 2,500. That was.
Okay, so are you happy to?
No, simply because if we do that every time, we will run out of money before we get to the end of it. If we work on the 49% idea, which is where I'm going with this, that doesn't even take into consideration any grants from the future.
There are some.
We have some more grants that have come in. So,
Small ones.
Okay, so you're proposing 2450. If we get a seconder, that will vote. If it's lost, then Councillor Richards, you put forward the alternative. Is there a seconder?
I second that.
Okay, so we take that to the votes. All in,
Okay.
yeah, all in favour. That is unanimous. Thank you. So then we look at Oakhampton Pride for a grant of 3,000 towards the provision of the event on 18th of July. proposal? Councillor Corner?
Not a proposal. Just if you work it on the 49%, it's £1,470.
Okay, can I ask where you got the 49% from? Because I wasn't in for the first item, which I think is what you're referring to.
So I spent a bit of time going over this one once we got the final figure that was left in the pot,
Yeah.
and messed around with it until I came to 49. Just comes in just under what we've got. 50% goes just over what we've got.
Right, okay, so that's where it's coming from. So the figure was 14...
If we worked it on the 49%, it would be 1470.
1470. And are you proposing that?
Not at the moment.
No, okay. Anybody else? That's
I proposed 1,200 because I'm also mindful that this is all our grant money, and normally we do grants now and then grants later on in the year, and we won't have anything left, even little small pockets, because sometimes we come with £50 or £100. So I'd like to reserve some. So my proposal would be 1,200.
Okay, so a second for that? Councillor Coleman, you seconding that? Yep. Anything in debate? And Councillor Richards, I'm thinking, or?
No, I wouldn't. I'm not comfortable with that decision.
Right,
So I'd
okay.
be voting against it. But please.
Okay, did you wish to speak in debate?
I'm a little anxious about the message it puts out. Okay? I think if we are going to do the 49%, we should use 49%.
Sorry. We can take each application on its own merits. We're not applying a blanket to 49%. I think Councillor Coleman is just using that as a guidance to help him in his thinking. But at the end of the day, it's for the committee to decide on each application how much they wish to put forward, as long as we don't exceed our 29k budget. That's what we can't do. Okay, so Councillor Coleman.
Is it okay to clarify my thinking with regards to seconding the 1,200?
Yep, sure.
So, having listened to the questions being asked in the presentation, if you like, from the Pride Committee, it seems that they kind of got costs covered for this year, and they could possibly handle that little bit of extra loss more than other organisations, which was my thinking for going with the 1.2 as opposed to 1.470. That's my thinking behind agreeing to second that decision.
Okay, so we have a proposer and a seconder on the 1,200, and anybody who's spoken wishes to speak in debate. So can I take a vote on that? All in favour, please show. Okay, thank you. Any abstentions? Any against? You against or abstaining?
I'm against.
You're against. Okay, thank you. Right. So the Museum of Dartmoor Life for a grant of 3,500 towards the running costs, and Councillor Bird is abstaining on this one. Noting that they didn't actually send anybody to speak, which was a requirement. So, members.
Madam Chair,
Councillor Richards.
Again, there are issues about who this benefits, and for that reason, I'm going to propose 1,500, which is a little less than.
Okay. Is there a second to that? Are you seconding that?
Yes.
Okay. Did you wish to speak in debate or not?
Just clarify my position. So 49% comes in at 1,750, and bearing in mind future, I'm happy to second that.
So all in favour, please show. Thank you. And abstentions, please. Thank you. It's 8:30, so we just need a proposal to suspend standing orders so we can go over our time. Councillor Coleman?
I propose we suspend standing orders.
Yeah, thank you. And Councillor Richards, all in favour? Lovely, thank you. So then, where have I got to? North Dartmoor Search and Rescue. So they are again requesting a grant of 4437. This is my name. 4437 to purchase of medical equipment to support emergency response, including defibrillators and vital sign monitors. Anybody? Councillor Lake.
I propose that we award 2,100, which is a little less than half, because then again it's just drawing that little bit back for smaller grants later on the year. So that would be my proposal, 2,100.
Is there a second to that?
Yes, I'll second that one.
Okay. Does anybody wish to speak in favour? No? All in favour, please show. Thank you, that's unanimous. And then we get to the British Legion for a grant of 5,000 towards the cost of fire door replacement, equipment and furniture. And while note and sympathise very much with the additional works that are needed, the value of the grant itself is 289,560. So members might like to take that into account.
Could you, I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Yes,
figure, please?
so yes, hold on, let me just get into the right page on the, I don't know.
Yes, that's what I
Yeah. So the request is for 5,000, but when you tot up the items that are listed is 2895.60.
Right.
And I do that and understand and sympathise that, you know, they do need more than that is listed on this, but as a rule, we would generally go with what is actually on people's requested or costed, because we haven't got costings for anything else, so you might want to take that into account when you're thinking. Okay. Councillor Richards, are you going to speak?
Yes, I will.
Yeah.
This was, I just wanted to confirm with you your the exact figures which you have done. I had put down that my recommendation, my proposal would be for 2,900.
Okay, so more than the value of the actual items.
Do you want to go, if you want to go the exact sum, it was 2,800 and...
£95.60.
£2,895.60.
In fact, you'll
We shall go as, that is my proposal. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there a seconder for that? Nope, and that is lost, so we need not
Sorry,
thank
can you clarify what that amount was?
2895.60, but that's been lost, okay? Wasn't a seconder. Councillor Coleman, did you raise your hand up?
Yes. I'd like to propose 2,500.
Okay, is there a seconder for that? Councillor Bird. Right, any debate? No, okay, all in favour? 2,500. Lovely, thank you. Mr. Neal, tool support, yeah. So tool support, which again is for a grant of 5,000 to fund counselling sessions. Yes. Anybody wish to speak? Any of that? Or make a proposal? Councillor Richards?
I have, regrettably, a fundamental problem with this requirement. It's slightly based upon the question that I posed. I feel that a voluntary service is being required to replace a statutory service. And if I was being true to my principles, I would be demanding of the CEO of the MAT that they actually are responsible for these matters, and it should not be, absolutely not be, the requirement of the, shall we say, the good burghers of Oakhampton to cover for a service that should be provided, shall we say, by the state. Okay? So I have really serious problems about this application on principal grounds. But having said that, we would be being unfair in not providing them with something. So what I'd like to propose is that they've asked for 5,000. We've said that sort of 49–50%, but I would like to reduce that a little and make it £2,000 in order to send not a message to Tor, but I would like, publicly to send a message to the MAP that I think they're failing in their duty in requiring increasingly voluntary services to pick up for their failings. Okay.
Thank you. Is there a seconder for that? Okay, so that one is lost. Is there an alternative proposal?
I think I would like to propose that we support this application with £2,400, which is just £100 less than the 50% that we're looking for. Just to come back, I think all our health services all started as a voluntary thing anyway, and then it got statutory, and then we're supplementing with voluntary. So I kind of disagree with what Councillor Richards is saying. I think, and I think also that when we go statutory, sometimes we don't get a heartfelt response that we need. So sometimes the voluntary can come in with more of a charitable, heartfelt support that is more of a human touch as opposed to bureaucratic. So anyway, that's just my little speech. 2,400 is what I propose.
Thank you. Is there a seconder for that? That's Councillor Coleman. Okay, anybody wishing to speak in debate? Yes, Councillor Coleman.
If I can just clarify my reasoning, I understand where Councillor Richards is coming from, although I don't think it would be appropriate to remove funding from that organisation in order to make a point. I think we can make the point by agreeing that this should be state funded better. But yeah, I'm happy to second the 2,400.
Okay, thank you. So, all in favour, please show. Lovely, thank you. Unanimous. And Ren Music for a grant of 5,000 to assist with the cost of the 26-27 programme. Let me just see if this one too.
Madam Chair, point of order. What is our running total, please?
I think Clark will let us know if we're running out of money, but yeah, how much have we got left?
2,770.
Is that all we've got left? Right, okay. So, yeah. Anybody wish to make a proposal?
So if I understand correctly, just to confirm, 2,270 was the figure you gave, wasn't it?
2,270.
2,700.
2,770.
2,700. And also, my esteemed colleague wishes to keep a little bit back, that's right, isn't it?
It's up to members as to what they want to do, whether we need to keep any back for emergency applications or, so our choices are we can grant full amount, we can, or grant less amount based on any form of calculation that we actually wish.
It would seem reasonable. I'd like to propose that we make a grant of 2,500.
Is there a second for that? Yeah, you're happy to second that? Okay. Right, all in favour, please. Thank you. Any abstentions? Lovely. Thank you very much. So that leaves us with £270 for the rest of the financial year in case there are any emergencies.
There are some, we have received another couple of small applications.
Right, okay. So it just leaves me to say thank you all very much. I'm sorry none of you were able to get the full amount that you asked for, but I think you probably do understand the reasons why. If anybody, this is the first time we've kind of done this, where we've asked people to come in. If anybody wants to give me any feedback on that as to whether you think it's been a useful thing or not, please do, irrespective of your views of what we've got. Please do just get in touch. My contact details are on the website, and I'd be very interested to know what people's thoughts are, because obviously this is going to be something we're going to see more and more with grant applications coming in. I think we're probably going to have to review our policy and possibly review our top amount as well going forward. But I would be very grateful for your thoughts, actually. It will really help inform how we can continue to determine applications going forward in as fair and equitable way as possible. All right, I'd like to wish you all every success with everything that you are actually doing, and thank you for all your work. Okay, thank you very much. So it is 20 to 9, and I will need to go to meeting closed. Thank you very much. Thank you.